I have been thinking and talking about doing my first mountain bike race for almost a year now.
You got it! You got it!
And I entirely blame this guy right here, my new bike, the Pivot Trail 429. Ever since I bought this bike, I just cannot get enough of trying to ride faster and faster, improving my speed, strength, stamina, endurance, and all of that stuff. And logically, in my mind, I was like, I should probably start trying to do some mountain bike racing. That seems like a good idea, right? Well, I've never done any sort of racing or sports competitions or anything like that. So it took me traveling out of town and getting a last minute call from one of my buddies that said, hey, by the way, there's a race where you're visiting this weekend. You should totally sign up and do it. That got me to actually do my first mountain bike race, right? And so today I wanted to share that experience with you, the things I learned from my first race, and would I do a race again? My name is Grant, this is Roo Bike, let's get into this. I have to say big thanks to my buddy Shane who gave me the lowdown and tons of tips and advice about how to actually make this happen. So thanks Shane, really appreciate all the help. The first thing you have to do is sign up for the race. And I love it. Once you do that, you're kind of in it. So that's probably the most important step. It's super easy. You figure out the name of the race that you're going to do. You can Google it, or if you're lucky, somebody just tells you about it. You go and you sign up. Now, there's different categories. Which category do you pick? I've never done this before. I'm not in great shape at this point. It's early in the season. So I picked novice, which is the lowest category. And yeah, sign up, you pay, you sign up, and ta-da, you're done. You get a little email with a confirmation. The next thing is you have to go get your race packet, right? You can either do that the day of the event, or you can do that ahead of time if you can. I did it ahead of time, went and grabbed it, it was super easy. The next thing I was told that you should probably get squared away ahead of time is pre-ride the course if you're able to. The race I did gave a Garmin link for the race outline. I don't have a Garmin device, I have a Wahoo device. I had to figure out how to do that. If you are interested in like a how to download a route map onto your Wahoo, hit me up in the comments, leave a comment below, and I'll totally make a video about how to do that. Anyway, I downloaded the course, went and found the course, and I pre-rode the course a day ahead of the race, or 2 days ahead of the race, I guess, right? I wasn't trying to smash any records. I just did it at a leisurely pace, followed the line. It's a good thing I did because I totally got lost a couple of times. That helped in a couple of areas, right? One, I learned the lay of the land, where the ups, where the downs were, how hard I thought I could go, where the technical bits of the trail were, things I had to watch out for, and that sort of a thing. So I knew ahead of time what to expect. Totally helped my nervousness. That's something I strangely was so nervous before this. I don't know whether it was like, I don't know what to expect or whatever. I was a wreck. Like I was over preparing like crazy. This is kind of a side tangent. One thing that definitely helped me get over my nervousness was I just set in my mind a different expectation. I wasn't going to win or do well. I was just going to finish, right? I wanted to get the first race out of the way so that I could move on and progress to see, hey, is this something I even want to do in the future? Who cares about the result? Make it easy on yourself, and that totally helped lessen the stress I was feeling. What's next after that? I had to decide what gear to bring, starting with what sort of tools and what I wanted to pack on my bike here, right? I knew I wanted to keep it as light and as simple as possible. I made sure I had enough to get a tire repair kit, right? So my gear was very minimal I wanted to carry, which is kind of how I normally ride anyway. Next, I had to figure out what to wear. It sounds silly, but the race I signed up for was super early in the morning. It was like 7:40 in the morning. It was in the desert and it was in April. It was cold. I mean, it was set to be like 45 degrees. I'm a wimp. That is freezing. So I was like debating on all sorts of jacket solutions, long sleeve this, do I wear pants that? None of that was gonna fly, right? I knew I got hot when I ride, especially if I'm really going at it. So I finally found some arm warmers, but then what? I got a text from that same buddy who gave me the load on all this and said, hey, just so you know, this is kind of a Lycra sort of an event, which means, you know, your typical tight road stuff, which is so embarrassing to wear. And in my mind, I'm like, to heck with that. There's no way I am showing up to an event wearing tights. I don't care. I'm a hooligan. I'll wear my normal stuff. I like my normal stuff. I love my normal Roo jerseys with the pockets in the back. I could totally make that work. Well, I tried. I tried desperately to do everything I could not to show up in public in my tighties. Well, the arm warmers, for whatever reason, just wouldn't jive with my jersey. Long story short, I had to go out and buy a very tight road jersey and wear my underwear on the outside for everybody to see. Sad day, but it was in the end the best combo. I felt so silly, and you know, not being in the best of shape, tight clothing reveals everything. What else can I say, right? All right. So I've got the gear I'm wearing, I've got the gear I'm carrying on the bike. What's next? I gotta figure out hydration. I knew I wanted my solution to be simple, right? I didn't want to be fiddling around with a water bottle while I'm riding for the most part. I also didn't know how much water to bring. So what I ended up doing was covering a couple bases. Yes, I had one of the bigger water bottles I could find on the bike, but I also had my very small 1.5 liter hydration pack. That way, you know, the little tubey was always here. I could just sip from it while I'm riding to keep myself hydrated. I didn't want to bonk during the course of the route. So I didn't just put water in my stuff, right? Because it was so last minute, I didn't have any time to prepare, so I just ended up going to the nearest grocery store, finding, you know, some electrolyte mix, which happened to be Pedialyte, the mixy kind. And if you're thinking gross, oh, holy crap, you're right. That stuff was so sweet. By the end of it, I was just like, please give me a drink of normal water already. This stuff sucks. I know now, Pedialyte, if you're desperate, I guess. Despite all their claims on the box, it is not the #1 sports drink. All right, so I also knew that I wanted some snacks, right? I love sugar, especially sugar with caffeine, and I love those little Cliff blocks. I don't know, some of them have caffeine. At any rate, I bought all of them that I could find at the store. I think I had like 6 or 7 packages. I filled every little free space I could find with these Cliff blocks, right? I was set to go. The only thing left was I had to get my bike ready, clean it, lube it, and wait for the race day. So it's race morning, right? My start time is super early, so what do? I'm nervous. I wake up like 3 hours ahead of time. We're talking 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what's wrong with me. Why would you wake up that early? I told you, I was nervous. So I had my wife drive me out to the race course. I had my support team, my wife and my 2 dogs with me, which was great. We accidentally went the wrong way and had to drive through their pre-starting gates. They yelled at us. Great way to start the day, but whatever. Found a place to park, and I had enough time to warm up. Another tip my buddy gave me was start warming up, do some sprints, do some regular ride, do some deep bends, you know. Get your body ready to move, get that blood flowing, and I did that. I had about an hour before my race. It was unbelievably busy. There's not really like, I don't know if I can set the scene, but there were people literally everywhere. I mean, the road was packed. Riding at any sort of pace was just a super challenge without knocking into people and pedestrians and cars. But I did the best I could to warm up, right? They start doing the national anthem. They start corralling all of us in. What they do is they write on your calf what number your race group is, right? So you could find people and, you know, make sure you're in the right group. So I started looking for people. My calf said 10. Anybody with a 10 on their leg, I chatted them up. We became buddies. Hey, what do you do? I don't know what I'm doing. Where do we go? Blah, blah, blah. It was great. They probably thought I was so annoying, but anyway. I found some people, 10s on their leg, which is our group race number, and we started corralling together. They said we were going to be late, so I was not prepared. I didn't have my gloves on, didn't have my GoPro on, didn't have my computer on, didn't have my watch on. I had nothing on. And then all of a sudden, they said go. And I'm like, who? Us? And all of a sudden, everybody with 10s on their leg was going. I am panicked. I'm trying to start my GoPro. I'm trying to start my computer. I'm trying to put on gloves and pedal all at the same time. Here's a top tip. Leave all that crap on well ahead of time. Get your gloves on. Get ready to go. And then get into the little race corral. It was a mess. Talk about panic last minute, right? But I had to remind myself, I'm not here to win. I'm just here to participate. At this point, a couple of things are going through my head. Again, my buddy totally saved the day and gave me all sorts of great pre-ride advice. One thing he said, actually two things he said that just stuck in my head, right? This is not a normal bike ride. You're in it to win it. Keep those pedals moving, right? Don't just sit there and coast. Pedal. Keep pedaling the entire time. The next thing that stuck in my head was he said, always be trying to get yourself into a harder gear, right? Can I push a higher gear? No, I can't. Well, bring it back and then try to push into a higher gear again. This is not a casual experience. The other thing, which looking back I didn't really do, he did mention this, was ride at a pace a bit faster and hotter than you think you're able to maintain. And I should have done that. I probably could have done better, right? I paced too much at the beginning. Come to the end, I'm smoking, I'm feeling great. I have just blown past all the people I was originally riding with, and I see some people ahead of me, and I just start chasing them, right? My whole goal at that point was not to finish. I look down, and I am way ahead of where I thought I would be. I'm like 20-something minutes ahead. And then I'm thinking, is it possible? Can I actually finish at a good time? And I see someone ahead of me who's fast, and I just do my very best to try and catch them. And it became a weird game, right? I started riding so hard and so fast, and it just really upped the funness, right? It brought out this really strange, I don't know whether it was competitive, but man, I just felt locked in, and it was so much fun to chase this person. Came to the very end, and the lack of my training, there was a little hill that we had to go up to finish the course. You crossed a couple streams, and boom, it was like a 300 or I don't know, however many 100-yard sprint up this hill to finish it. Well, in my effort to catch this person for so long, I just ran out of gas, and they kept on sprinting, and my pace slowed and slowed and slowed. But I crossed the line. I ended up finishing 16th out of I don't know how many people did it, but it was so freaking cool. All right, let me summarize this with the question, would I be doing another race? And the answer is yeah. I've already got myself ready to go for that. It's in like 3 weeks, no, 2-ish weeks, and I'm totally already prepared. I ride every other day. As you can see, the bike's filthy. I don't care. I am doing whatever I can to up my fitness, right? That was a great experience, and again, I totally blame this bike. Ever since I bought this bike, all I want to do is be a better biker, a faster biker, a stronger biker. So, oh, but by the way, I noticed you don't need a fancy bike to do any of these races. I saw all sorts of different bikes. Whatever your situation is, you don't have to be in great shape. In fact, there were little kids doing this race, right? So don't let that stop you. Don't let the type of bike you have stop you. If you have an inkling to do it, just do it. It's a total blast, and I will definitely be doing as many as I can this year. At any rate, I hope that helps. My name is Grant. If you haven't already, please like this video. It definitely helps me out. Subscribe if you haven't already. There is a link below to sign up to be a product tester for the Roo jerseys. Follow the link, fill it out. We're giving away all kinds of free stuff, and so make sure you're signed up. Grant, Roo Bike, bye.